If you mix a pit bull with a poodle, will the puppies be pit bulls or poodles? No, they won't be either. They'll be a breed all unto themselves. Those are no longer pit bulls or poodles. The same is true with biracial people. They're not black. They're not white. They're biracial. They're a group all unto themselves. They're Semites, mixed breeds. Okay? It's that simple. I don't want to hear nothing about them being treated the same as blacks because they're not. Never have been. And it don't matter how white people treat them. How white people treat them don't change what they are. I don't care what biracial people identify themselves as. I don't care if biracial people call themselves black. That's not going to make you black. You got some black people who identify themselves as white. No matter how much I call myself white, I'm going to always be black. A black person claiming to be white. You can't talk your way into being something that you're not. You can't think your way into being something that you're not. So I don't care if a biracial person support black agendas. They still just a biracial person supporting black agendas. It's that simple. You Negroes supporting this idea that biracial people are black for the same reason people like Rachel Dolezal was able to exploit your stupidity. A white woman passing as black for 7 years, just basically showing how stupid black people are and how desperate they are to try to pull everybody into the black race, because black people got such an inferiority complex and they look down on being black and they look down on black genetics so much they want to drag people who ain't black into the black race and say that they're black just to make the overall black race look a little more attractive. That's how pitiful and pathetic black people are. They are very unsatisfied with their own identity being the only face of blackness. And if you're a biracial person who call yourself black, you got some serious identity issues. Biracial people are not black. If they're black, then all black men could go out tomorrow and get a white woman and claim to be doing it to preserve the black race. How much sense would that make? I asked this one pro-black Hotep Negro. I said, what if all black men decided to only date biracial women? Oh, well, they would be sellouts. Why? If you calling them black. He was calling biracial people black. Called Obama black. All biracial people black. And he failed to see the hypocrisy, the contradiction in that. If they're black and black women, black men are dating them, how can you call those black men sellouts for dating so-called black women? At some point, you have to acknowledge that they're biracial, that they're not black. And if they are black, and it only takes one black parent to have a black child, that means a biracial person could mate with a white person and that child still be black? Fuck no. That child would hardly even look biracial. You see how the logic just fall apart trying to call biracial people black? See how the stupidity of you Negroes is so easily exploited by people like Rachel Dolezal? This is what the kind of things that make me embarrassed to be a member of the same race as the majority of you fucking idiots. You have no pride. You have no integrity. Don't talk to me about a one drop rule. I don't care what white people classify biracial people as. What other group on the planet permits another race to tell them to define their own race for them, to tell them who is Chinese? Say, for instance, Chinese people. They don't allow no Russians to tell them who's Chinese. They decide who Chinese people are and who's not. Only a group of slaves would allow another race to define their own race for them. And that's the main reason y'all do that, because you're just a bunch of modern day slave. You're slave minded. That one drop rule came out in the early 1900s anyway. They wasn't classifying them as black during slavery. Look it up. They were just considered the children of the slave master. And even back then, they were still giving more authority than you. They wasn't treating them as black, just like they don't treat them as black today. They still get put in positions over Negroes. So this all they treated as blacks too. That's bullshit. Never have. I mean, dealing with black people is like dealing with a group of mentally retarded people. Mentally retarded children. That's exactly who you act like. You even got some Negroes stupid enough to say that all non-whites are black. Had some Hotep Negro tell me that Asians are black. Chinese people are black. Because they got African roots. Well, hell, white people got African roots. Don't all races come from blacks? So just because you got somewhere in your distant ancestry is African, that's supposed to make you black? These Negroes say the most absurd shit. And if they all black, then tell me, how is it that they can tell the difference between us and themselves? When something is the same, you can't tell the difference. See, these Negroes get caught up in philosophy. And as soon as they do, they get detached from reality, which is the basis of insanity. And I don't fuck around like that. And usually, these people who be calling biracial people black, it's usually these Negroes who got biracial kids. And they want to hold on to some kind of credentials in the black community by being able to say that they got black kids. No, Negro. Your kids ain't black. Can't no black child come from no white man's testicles. Can't no black child come out no white woman's vagina. And to further expose your hypocrisy, what if a biracial person called themselves white? You Negroes would call them a self-hater. Oh, you ashamed of your blackness. You ashamed of your bloodline. But why don't you say that to them when you call them black? You just ignoring the fact that they got a white parent. Really, that's disrespectful. You call them black without a care in the world what they think about their white parent. Or whatever parent they got. That's the same reason Tiger Woods openly said he's not black. Because he got tired of you pathetic, sad-ass Negroes calling him black. As if his mother don't exist. Did not play a role. As if her blood don't flow through his, as if her race don't shape what he is. You don't call them self-haters when they call themselves black. But if they call themselves white, you throw a fucking hissy fit. Make videos about it. I told you a bunch of sad, pathetic motherfuckers. Ain't nobody black but you. I don't want to hear about these straight-haired blacks. They are of Indian stock. They're of Australoid stock. They're not Negroes. They're different. You can look at them and see that they're different. Okay? All non-Africans are part Neanderthal. So don't talk to me about, oh, are they closer to black than anything? Oh, look at it. No. Chinese, Japanese, all the Asians, they're closer to white than us because they all part Neanderthal. Neanderthals wasn't even Homo sapiens. You Negroes really need to do basic education on yourselves. Surprises me that y'all don't know the basic shit of reality. Well, maybe it don't. I mean, you are modern day slaves. You still just as dumb, despite the fact you got all kind of information right at your fingertips. You just as dumb as you were during slavery. Stay tuned.